check. All right. I see Karen in the chat or in the green room, waiting on Anita. All right. Get in there, hit that like, share the show, everybody. We're in a big hurry this morning. We got a lot to cover. And it's difficult to get a show in under the wire, before whatever the end times. What time are they scheduled? Does anybody know what time the world is supposed to end this week? Or did I miss it again? There, and I do see Karen that she's in the green room. But Karen, if you can hear me, your camera isn't on, but I can't see you. There's Anita though. Definitely Anita's in there. All right, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Working on it. Almost there. What was I doing before I got all distracted? Oh, yeah. Yeehaw. Jump straight in here. I see I've got the ladies in the chat room, so I'm just going to jump straight in. Let's hit this and just kind of come in. Hi, chat room. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Like I said, I see that Karen is with us, and I see Anita's with us, and I'm about to bring them in. Karen from Chicago and Anita from True Blue Politics will be joining us in a second, but I don't see her cameras. Maybe that's a choice. Maybe she doesn't want to be. You know what? Why am I being judgmental? Honestly, there's no reason for it. Hit the like, share the show. It's again, I'm trying to keep track. Does anybody know what the schedule is for the end of the world? Because it's we're either way overdue or nowhere near it. And Anita, I see your ceiling fan. There you are. Excellent. Let me bring you in. I'm going to check one thing before. Just to make sure we're all up and running. I see Anita, but I don't see Karen's camera somehow, and she's in the green room. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'll just bring her in. Hold on. I'm gonna bring in Anita and Karen. Hopefully, I can hear both of them when I do check one. Do I hear you? There you are. Hi.
I'm not sure why my camera isn't on.
Okay, well, that's the voice of Anita.
I can't my headphones out.
You can't hear me on your headphones? Or you can't hear her?
I can't either.
No, I can't hear you. Yeah. I can't hear either one of you through my headphones. For some reason,
yeah.
That's on your side, I think, because I think Karen can hear me, but then, yeah.
I can hear coming through headphones, but that's okay. You can hear me okay?
Want me to
yes.
Come back
Hold on.
again and see if that helps?
Yeah, popping out and popping back in is a great idea. I'm for it. Just to see if that's that. Okay, excellent. It's sometimes it's good that this when the struggle is truly real, when it's not mine. And you guys know that. There's Anita. Okay, we'll put her in. Guess too. She's back in there. She's muted herself, which is fascinating, and her camera's now off. This is going to be very exciting. I have no doubt. There. Okay, and there's. Oh, look, Karen's camera's in. That's excellent. Let me make sure she's in the right spot. She is. I'm going to give this another college try. And let's see. Karen, I see you. Hold on. Think. Now I see Karen. and I don't see Anita. We can apparent, and I don't hear you right now. So somehow your mic is off. 1 second. That's this. Okay, there we go. And yeah, your mic is off, Karen. Apparently. All right, hold on. I'll hold off on that. We'll be all right. We'll manage this. You got to be able to do this. I should be able to hear you just fine. I don't know if I can select your mic from here. That would be rude of me. I don't think I can. But your mic was on before, so it probably could be there. You can, if you use mic and camera in the same source, you should be all right. I should be able to hear you as soon as you start talking. And then Anita went out and back in. We're almost there. I have total faith in you guys, by the way, that this is going to happen. So I do this all the time. All right, I'm going to leave them to their own devices, no pun intended, in this, and say hi to the chat room. Good to see you. It is Hal time. It's Monday Hal time. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We're all dealing with it. By the way, you know what? This is a great opportunity, if I do say so my damn self, to promote Nerd Halen next week. Not this week, but the following week. We're in Chicago on May 23rd. We're on. Wait, I even have a graphic for it. I think. Where do they're definitely in here somewhere. Oh, there's Anita, and her camera's back. I don't hear Karen yet. Karen, can you check your mic for me? Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. It's coming together. It's very exciting. All right, I'm going to make sure that Anita's in the right guest situation, which I think should be okay. And then I will just show one more thing. This guy right here. Whoops, I gotta get this one out of there. Go away.
All right.
This one. Hold on. And then this one. I see. There you go. May 22nd is Celestia Theater and Akron, near Akron. We're Akron adjacent in Ohio. Our first Ohio show ever. So be there or be ridiculous. Hold on, I got to bring it up on the screen first. Publish. There we go. There it is. Ha! There we go. Is there this business right here? Yeah. So very exciting. It's a Friday night in America. We'll be there on May 22nd. Just prepare yourselves accordingly. In Wadsworth, Ohio, which is also, by the way, a great town, but also the name, I believe, of the butler that Tim Curry played in Clue. Wasn't he named Wadsworth? I want to say that he was.
That sounds.
Anyways,
that sounds
it
right.
Thank you. I back me up on this. Okay, we're gonna try this now. I think we could do it. There's Anita. We've got the forehead of security.
There's her ceiling. Yep, ceiling fan. Lower your camera, Anita.
You can see my ceiling fan. Can you all see me?
We can see. Yeah,
How's
we can
that?
see your baseball cap and your ceiling fan.
Yep,
Okay,
there you go. My mom does the exact same thing. Like
I'm flying, but I don't have anything to. Okay, there we go.
That's right. My mom always does the Kilroy camera. This is whenever she's FaceTiming with me and my kid. We got audio feedback from wherever. There you go. Now we're back up. I think we're okay. Hopefully.
Okay,
all right.
The problem is I can't hear you guys through my headphones. I'm hearing you.
Yeah,
through my
no,
phone.
I can't. Right. I can't hear either, Anita. It's coming through. Audio's coming through my MacBook. So, but I can. You're getting my sound from my mic, so that's fine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, we can hear you, just for the record, and yeah. And there's a little bit of there'll be a little bit of echo from me occasionally, and a little buzzy sound because of that. Sorry, the headphones don't work. There should be a selection on there for you to choose your audio output, either in your regular menu or in your the app on the browser. But who can say at this point?
Who can say?
Either way, we'll just get to the current state of madness and operate from there. Karen from Chicago, Anita from True Blue Politics. Hey. Let's do it. So, over the weekend, I think the biggest thing on everybody's mind was the fact that Trump was losing his, and this like
how is that any different from any other weekend, though? I mean, really.
Well, I guess because when he was nuts on The Apprentice and doing rails of Adderall and benzos to keep himself able to read a teleprompter without crapping himself, I didn't watch that show because to me it was, I hosted a game show when I was 17 years old, and so I'm over it. And secondly, I don't think that there's it didn't have an impact on the rest of the world unless you cared about that. That's up to you. When he's apparently asking for the nuclear codes and talking about on Friday there's going to be a glow coming
Mm-hmm.
from Iran, then it starts to matter because he's clearly his brain is decaying right before our very eyes, and he's threatening civilization destruction and nuclear annihilation on a peoples who are
Yes.
by and large on our side, in theory, who are
I
oppressed and
think
all
he's
this kind of
having
stuff.
like a. I think he's having
Yeah,
like a narcissistic breakdown because nothing's going his way. People are actually standing up to him. Iran is actually standing up to him. He thought this they would just like do like Venezuela
It was
did.
going to be
He
Venezuela.
really
Yeah.
wanted it to be one and done,
right.
and
Well,
it's not working out that way. His
Well,
poll
and the
numbers suck.
polling and the poll. Yep, exactly. Polling sucks.
The
yeah.
economy sucks. Gas prices are going up, and he doesn't. He can't control this situation.
Excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't know if you heard, but on Friday he used the magic words, and the gas prices are coming down very quickly. They were
Like a
Oh, I
just
heard
because
miracle.
about
he's
that.
yeah, like a miracle, going down super fast. Um,
Isn't it weird
so
how it's exactly like COVID? It's
Yeah.
so weird.
yeah,
This is
it's
how he
almost
handles things.
right. Well, it's almost as if that's it, this is how he handles everything. I've said for a
Mhm.
bit that his primary issue is that he never was a deal maker. He just strong
No.
arms
No.
people. He was able
Yeah.
to, if he could use his lawyers or his fixer or the
Mm-hmm.
mob or Roy Cohn or his leverage through Jeffrey Epstein to get stuff that he
Mm-hmm.
wanted, or he could, in rare occasion, if he recognized this strong arming when Russia would do it to him, um, during, especially in the lead up to and in the first term, he that's his only mechanism. And if it doesn't work, he's
Right.
out. That's where he's like, you
Mm-hmm.
got to be able to walk away from the table. Well, the only reason you walk away is if your threats uh, are either dysfunctional, inconceivable, or just aren't convincing anyone.
But he
But
Mm-hmm.
that
also
and
just
that's
wears people down. One of his tactics is just to wear people down,
Yep.
just to
right.
keep at it until
Well,
people are just like, okay, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore, and give
well,
up.
yeah, and if not for the media, creating this narrative around him prior to 2016, would we even be here? That's what I
Right.
wonder, right?
Right.
No, of course. If it wasn't for The Apprentice and all of that, no, I don't think we'd
Hmm.
be here.
Mark
Well, the
Burnett
farce of
creating
the
this
art of
narrative.
the art of the deal is the beginning of the farce. And if anything, I've always said it's better to have a legend than a brand. And branding in and of itself has become this kind of monster in the especially in the early 2000s. That became the
Hmm.
name of the game. And Trump and other people who talk about themselves in the third person tend to have used this sort of mild propagandistic hypnotism that's worked in a cheap way over the decades that can, you know, Trump stands for quality, in the same way that Coke is life, and
Hmm.
and it's just as much, or Fox is fair and balanced, which famously they had to trademark because a trademark does not have to be true. It's not a lie if you trademark it.
Hmm.
Is that right?
So yeah, no, yeah, it isn't. That's the courts have ruled that. That's why you can say Coke is life, because it clearly is not. And also that kind of branding is what led to, I think it was in Japan where they ran a Diet Coke ad about bringing families together. And when they
Hmm.
translated it from English to Japanese, they just went word for word, and it literally in Japanese said, "Diet Coke, it brings your ancestors back from the dead." So
Oh,
like, um, yeah. But
wow.
yeah, the point being is that like branding became this thing right about the time Trump is coming up.
Hmm.
And oh, we lost Anita for a moment. She's muted herself because there's a little bit of feedback. Maybe she's getting her mic in order. But I like this idea of you don't actually have to be the thing. You just have to say you're the thing loud enough and have enough
Hmm.
people buy it. The greatest show on earth was clearly not the
Right.
greatest show on earth.
Right.
In many
The
ways,
greatest cup of coffee.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup is
Right.
insanity. Like,
Yes.
like, how about just being alive, making it through the night? All right. But
Everybody
anyways,
knows cocaine is the best
yeah,
part of
that's right.
waking up.
Sure, right. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, uh,
Sorry.
certainly, yeah, no, and
I
it
shared too
certainly in the
much.
'70s. No, in the '70s, it was certainly competing with coffee on every measure when that ad campaign
Absolutely.
came out, right?
Yes.
But the idea though, there's a couple of things. The brand about Trump has been a farce since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It has always been a farce. That he didn't write Art of the Deal. His dad, he was a second generation rich kid. He basically burned his dad's building empire to the ground and just became a branding exercise. He's the minor investor in a bunch of properties that say Trump on them. There's five
Yes.
other investors. They're all foreign. They're all LLCs hidden under, opaque investment schemes. They're money laundering
Mm-hmm.
ventures, whether it's the Plaza Hotel, his own building, the Chicago building. It says
Oh my
Trump on
God.
it, but
Mm-hmm.
the building
That was a part
itself,
of the settlement, right? That was a part of
right?
all the settlements.
Yeah.
The banks were able to keep the name of
Hmm.
all of these different places, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, it reminds me, Hal, of the farce and the myth that the Republican Party is better on the economy, that the Republican Party is a party of patriots or family values.
Right. Sure.
It's
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
the lie that has been told by the media, just similar to the lie about Trump that's been told fed to the American people by the mainstream corporate run media.
Hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just like, but why in the world the mainstream media continues to run with this narrative and normalize him and legitimize him by not just speaking plainly about it and stopping with the both sides do it BS.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it's much better if it's a sporting event instead of just abject vilification. And Fox has a hard enough time polishing his turds
Mhm.
already without the mainstream, sort of I guess central message, the
Yep.
nonpartisan media, which is a bigger portion, quite frankly, of the media than people think. Because I think both the people on the crust that thinks it's the pizza, in deference to our deep dish friends in Chicago, the crust that thinks it's the pizza, whether it's the far left or the far right, or any kind of activists or slacktivists on the outside of it, most of the time they have the same opinion of the media that on both sides of the extremes,
Mhm.
and it's largely because these two groups don't like when a nonpartisan view of the news. It should be
Mhm.
slanted my way. It should be slanted against them, right? And that's very normal. So that's why CNN is the most watched and the most vilified,
Yes.
because the vast majority of people know that they're going there, but for the opinion shows in the later evening, like a lot of other networks. During the day, you're basically getting, balls and strikes on CNN. And
Mhm.
if you're a slacktivist, or you live online, or you're in the fringes of these things, you're going to hate them for not going after the person because, oh my God, that person's a villain right in front of me. And in our
Mhm.
case, we'll feel very comfortable saying that about the Scott Jennings of the world or whatever. But
Oh my
the
gosh, yeah.
right, but the far right feels the same way about Adam, or
Adam
any of
Mockler,
the other.
right,
Yeah,
right.
right. So it's the same reaction from both sides. It's why they always talk about how the mainstream, nobody trusts the news anymore, when in reality they absolutely do. In the same way that everybody thinks the American public is stupid except them, they think the Congress is full of idiots except the person they voted for, with
Mhm.
rare exception. This is a ripe environment for a bullshit artist to come through and go and just sell you on bumper stickers and oversimplifications. Anita's
Mhm.
dropping out, and I think trying to come back in. We'll check in on her,
Okay.
but
Okay.
so um, this is this is the perfect environment for somebody like Trump to kind of roll in, like I don't know if you ever saw True Detective. I've been rewatching the first season of that just for its cinematics and that kind of stuff. But there's this
Mm.
point basically where this serial killer took advantage of post Katrina. Effectively, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't Katrina. It was another big hurricane or whatever. That law enforcement was chasing down so many things and was so scattered that he could get away with a lot more. And there's Anita, and she's back,
There
and
she
there we're
is.
all pretty good.
I still can't hear you through my
Yeah,
headphones, so I
you're
don't know what
not going to be
happened.
able to, Anita. I would just give
Yeah,
up on the headphones.
yeah,
Yeah, give up on the headphones.
Okay, I know
It's
we were
not
talking
working.
about branding,
yes.
Yeah.
branding,
But
someone
so the
using his name.
real quick,
I heard.
yeah. So real quick, the let me finish the point, and then I want to hear from both of you on this. The idea is that like this killer took advantage of the chaos that was created by this environmental situation and the normal society being stretched to its limits. And I think there's a
Mhm.
great analogy in how Trump takes advantage of the normal media stretched to its limits between
Mhm.
the rise of social media and the absolute unverifiable claims and bot frenzies that happened on
Right.
that and the partisanship that was occurring because of how they were districting places and how both parties have just are trying to like are primary driven, and the right was the one that lost their mind this time around, whereas we might have had an issue in the early 70s on our side of the aisle, and the over correction happened on the right in this. So Trump rolls in and takes advantage of this by just saying absolute bumper sticker bullshit, which is clearly not true, especially the no new wars, no regime change wars, no Middle Eastern
Mhm.
wars, lower gas prices, affordability's a hoax, Epstein's a hoax. This is just created by the Democrats, all that kind of stuff. And it's almost like brains were tuned to accept it. And
Mhm.
Anita, I'm like,
He
I'm
watches
going to,
Fox News.
yeah, go
He was
ahead.
a Fox News viewer for 20. He would watch Fox News all the time. He knew exactly what to say. He was saying,
Mhm.
but that's why they would always say, "Oh, he's saying exactly what I'm thinking."
Hmm.
It was kind of a
Right.
perfect storm, and he understood it because he watched Fox News all the time. He watched right
Exactly.
wing media.
Right. He's part of the Republican base. I mean,
Yeah,
basically he just,
he knows
started
they
saying
created.
the quiet parts out loud.
Yeah,
Right. So,
Anita,
hold on
we're
one second.
seeing the
I'm going to,
top of your head again, Anita.
yeah.
Bring
I'm
your
sorry.
camera down.
That's
That's
okay.
okay.
Okay,
There you
got it.
go. Yeah.
Sorry.
There you
Oh,
go. Whoop.
there you go.
Yeah,
There.
try
Ah,
to
there
get
you go.
more.
Perfect.
I can't turn.
That's okay.
Perfect.
We're
Go
getting a
ahead.
little feedback from. You're on your phone?
I'm on my phone, but my headphones aren't working. Normally my headphones are working. I keep waiting for them to come
Yeah.
on. My Bluetooth is on. Is there?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
some
So I
Maybe
don't
reason
they're
think
it's
it's
just.
not
working.
working.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a little bit of audio feedback that happens because of it, so it can be a little bit distracting. That's what people in the chat are saying, but it's okay. Um, Um, the the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like there is an end to this runway, that you can only coast on brand for so long, and you can't
Mhm.
roll in with new Coke. Like that's what Trump is trying to be right now. He's trying to roll out new Trump, and new Trump always knew Iran was a threat and had planned to deal with this forever. Never didn't run on it, which is the
Mhm.
weirdest, I think, disconnect currently around this particular issue, is that if Iran
Yeah,
was always a threat and nobody dealt with it for 47
Right.
years and it was about time, then why didn't he run on that during the campaign? Why did he run on no new wars, no regime change wars? Why did he run on the exact opposite of it if
Opposite.
it needed to be done?
because he ran on what would get him elected, and he understood that. Don't you think
Right.
he's obsessed with things that happened in the 80s? That's why I
Mhm.
think he's obsessed with Iran.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yes, I do think he's on in kind of like a doom loop of how stuff used to work or how he thinks it works. I mean, he keeps
Mhm.
going back to the same well, to, snorting the same substances, trying to get the same high, and it
Mhm.
doesn't work. I think But here, let me show you. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up. Let me see if I can show you in here. Hopefully, this will work in this situation. This is what Trump posted about in response to the Iranians' response to the response to the response. You've probably seen some of this, but Iran has been playing games with the United States and the rest of the world for 47 years, delay, delay, delay. And then they finally
Mhm.
hit pay dirt with Barack Hussein Obama became president. He was not only good to them, he was great, actually going to their side, jettisoning Israel and all other allies, and giving Iran. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute you temporarily for 1 second. There we go. hundreds of $1 billion and $1.7 billion in green cash flown into Tehran was handed to them on a silver platter. Every bank in D.C., Virginia, Maryland was emptied out. By the way, the money came from Iraq, which was money for oil
Mm-hmm.
from Iraq, by the way. But whatever.
Right.
It was so much money that when it arrived, the Iranian thugs had no idea what to do with it. They'd never seen money like this and never will again. It was taken off the plane in suitcases and satchels. And the Iranians couldn't believe their luck. They finally found the greatest sucker of them all in the form of a weak and stupid American president. He was a disaster as our leader, but not as bad as sleepy Joe Biden. For 47 years, the Iranians have been tapping us along. He used this with Putin early on for why Putin would not listen to him, about stopping the Ukraine war. He's tapping us along. I don't know what that's like where he got that, but it's a fixation phrase for him. Keeping us waiting, killing our people with their roadside bombs, destroying protests. I think he means killing protesters, but whatever. Recently wiping out 42,000
Doesn't
innocent
that
unarmed
sound
protesters.
familiar?
Right. And laughing at our now great again country, which is, so I guess MAGA's done, so they don't have to do anything anymore. They will be laughing no longer, President Donald J. Trump. Okay. So Anita,
They're kicking his ass. He knows that. And so, I mean, and not only that, but the money was in francs or something like that. What is he talking about? The emptying out the banks in Virginia and Maryland. That's just a bunch of gibberish.
well, it's meant to be a mental image he puts in the minds of of the average maggot, where they can just picture this in their head, this plane full of pallets of cash, while they're having to, while they're broke or can't afford health insurance. Like that's I
Or
mean, there's a
gas.
purpose right.
Right.
That's the purpose behind this.
Right.
How many of
Oh.
them actually are reading that whole post? And I mean, people are just what they're feeling right now, and they're pissed off that this war is never ending. That's what they're saying. The war doesn't seem to be ending, and he promised us this would be done in what did he say in the beginning? 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
was 2 weeks
4 to 6 weeks.
initially. It was, but the weirdest part, I think, for everybody, and pardon me, I'm gonna mute you in between stuff, Anita, just because we're getting the feedback loop on there. But I'll try and make sure I open you up for when I ask you something. But the issue in this situation, like he promised them all these things, no new wars, all this kind of stuff, and now it's dragging on exactly as everybody said. All the stuff, the way he denigrates Obama or any of these other folks before him. Again, the contrast with what I said before still stands, but there's also this like proof that the people before him who didn't get us into this knew what they were doing as well. Like he keeps criticizing them, but exactly why they didn't do this is exactly what happened. In the same way that he
Exactly right.
he ran on getting us out of Afghanistan and didn't do it because there's no way to get out after that amount of time without it being messy in some way or another. Deaths, explosions, terrorist acts, and that kind of stuff. And Biden just went, "We got to get out. It doesn't matter."
Yeah. And then on cue, the mainstream media starts blaming Biden for the deaths
Right.
because it
So
wasn't neat and tidy.
Can I,
go ahead, Anita.
Nothing. I just find it shocking that we're having to. This man is leading this country, the most powerful country on earth, and listen to this gibberish. He's obviously upset because he knows that he is not fit to be president. He is not up to the job. And Iran, I mean, he can't get out of this mess that he got us into.
But
Yeah.
everybody
And
Well,
of
keeps
course,
telling him he is. Everybody keeps telling him how great he is. He's the best president ever. I mean, that's what he's
well, those
hearing.
are the people that surround him. He knows better. He knows better.
he absolutely does. And I think one of the examples is that he used to be able to BS himself in the old days, maybe. But now, every time he reaches for a pen, every time he puts his hands in front of himself, he sees this. This is, by the way, one of the most recent pictures. This is from last weekend, or I think Friday. Um, this is one of the gnarliest things I like. If you were in the room with this guy while he was talking and gesturing, you wouldn't be able to take your eyes off of his crusty, gnarly, made-up hands.
That's
While
when he's
I mean,
awake. I mean,
say
he's
again,
That's
asleep
when he's
all the
not
time.
nodding off,
He's
right?
not
right?
enough.
He did
I
a
just,
thing today.
I find it incredible that we have to discuss, you know, these posts that he puts out, and they're just so ridiculous.
Well, we didn't.
It's
We're
just a,
okay. We didn't have to. I will keep pushing on this, and
not
people
you.
can come
No,
at me
no, I'm
for
not trying to say you. I understand that we have
yeah.
to. People have to see it. People have to see it. But I mean, it really, he's just ridiculous, and we talk about it all the time. We got another 3 years of this. I just don't know where we go. I
Well,
don't know
okay.
how this is sustainable.
It clearly isn't, and even Republicans are looking for an exit strategy. You can see, what Tucker Carlson is basically the canary in the coal mine for them going,
Mhm.
all right, he's not long for this world, and it's not going to be JD Vance. So somebody's got to start rising up and retaking the party, and they're going to do it slowly, bag of sand to golden idol. They can't do it all at once and go, I'm now the standard bearer because Trump will attack them, maggots will flee, they'll
Mm,
never have a coalition.
right.
So they've got to start, even if they
They'll
don't buy
watch
what
it
he's
by
selling. For a while, they had to pretend they were with him, even when they clearly weren't. Whether it's Alex Jones or Tucker Carlson or one of these other folks, you got to make the maggots believe. Hey, I'm on board. I think Netanyahu is making him do this.
Oh, I
Hmm.
Right?
know.
I don't think he's doing this himself. I think he's
Or
being
I was
charmed
betrayed.
or sorry, say again, Anita.
No, they're all. They're. I was betrayed. This is a classic. This is not the same Donald Trump. I was betrayed. You
Well,
know,
that's the
Hmm.
or
second. That's round three. Round one was initially like this whole, Netanyahu whispered in his ear, or he's being blackmailed, or there's some other thing that is making him do that. If he only knew what was right, he would do it. If
Hmm.
as my buddy Phil Bittner always says, if the czar only knew, is this kind of mythology in Russia that they always push, and
right.
right, and so in the case of Trump, sorry,
Too.
go ahead,
It,
Anita.
it couldn't be Hitler. It was to be Goering or Goebbels or somebody else. It's not. It couldn't be Hitler. He must not
Right.
know this is going on.
Exactly. So Trump has been using that for quite some time. And in this particular case, that they've run out of runway on that one. Their next move is, oh, he's actually just mentally gone. It's sad. This is like elder abuse. He's now in his Biden years, and it's not his fault.
Right.
No, it's not his. But doesn't that contradict the whole? He's this strong, tough man.
Oh
If
yeah.
they're, if it's Netanyahu pulling the strings,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Hmm. Yep.
Or Lindsey
so
Graham.
I don't know how they, you know, put those two together. And he
Well,
is
they.
all Karen and I talk about this all the time. This thing where people talk about dementia. I mean, yes, he slowed down. He has some he obviously has some signs of dementia, but he's always been this breathtakingly stupid, this incompetent, this
Right.
Hmm.
unfit for office.
There
And
is all.
it seems like
Yeah.
it's just
Agreed, but
out.
there's also that the issue is that yes, he's breathtakingly stupid, but he was able to hide it a little better amongst people
Yeah,
and pretend to be sharp because he was insulting and he could kind of shock jock his way through stuff. But in
but he was
reality, sorry, go ahead.
he was also surrounded. He had guardrails then. He had advisors that, like the stuff where he wanted to shoot protesters, where he said he wanted to nuke a
Hmm.
hurricane. All these crazy ideas. Now he's just got people around going, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. You're
Well,
the
right. And
greatest."
there's already protesters that have been killed.
Right. Yes, in our country,
Yeah.
again, and the idea is that he's trying to do this thing where he wants to be seen as macho. If he can't win the Nobel Peace Prize, he's going to be a great warrior. He'd rather be Genghis
Mhm.
Khan anyways. So he really doesn't care. And none of this he feels like is going to come back to him. He knows that at Butler and these other places, it's going to be Secret Service or strangers or people or reporters in the audience that are going to get killed by these would-be
Mhm,
assassins.
and they don't care. And this notion that
They don't
people were talking about Butler as though the fact that the firefighter that there were people killed, that somehow that was proof that it wasn't,
Staged.
manufactured, it wasn't
Right, right.
staged, right? And it's like he doesn't care. He was I mean, he knew how deadly the, COVID was. He knew how contagious it was, and he just didn't care. And there are
Hmm.
over 1,000,000 Americans that died as a result of it. So he doesn't care. Body if he leaves bodies in his wake, when he talked about, being able to kill somebody on Fifth Avenue, shoot somebody on Fifth
Right.
Avenue, and he wouldn't lose support. I'm telling you, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but there are bodies. There are some bodies that have been left behind
Well,
in his
Because he
yeah.
wake.
wanted
Go ahead,
our
Anita. Yeah.
military. He wanted them to escort these ships through the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, talk about not caring about how many people died. A lot of
Hmm.
Right.
people would have died, or if they would have attacked that island. What is the island? What's the name of the island?
The
How?
Karg Island.
Carg Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, he's got to operate like this in this current
Mhm.
situation. Sorry, I'm
I
working the mute
wonder
button on you, Anita, so we don't
yeah,
get
Anita,
feedback.
I wonder if you just lose your headset altogether with the mic and just go off, like, on the phone.
Yeah.
Just, like, kill the headset altogether. I think you'd be better.
Is that better? I
That
don't think
is
Yes.
that's that.
eh,
Well,
it's a
it's
little
the
better.
audio coming back from the phone loud that's coming back into her mic that's the
Yeah, I
issue.
didn't
Got it.
use
So
headphones.
it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. So we'll work around it. Well, I can fire off. I can work the mute button. I'm just going to try and not step on you, Anita, when I ask you a question. I'll just be very specific when I address you. But um, okay, this idea of him being this macho superhero character in his own head, to where they mythologize him with these ridiculous AI images and stuff, where
Mhm.
he's floating in the reflecting pool with some woman with big boobs and random members in the cabinet, and yeah, well, I guess trophy wife number 4, nameless, model that he has groped, or whoever
Right.
is meant to carry on this thing. I have said for a while that this illusion that he's not getting any sleep anymore and that he's up all night, texting and truth
Mhm.
socialing is a myth. I don't buy it. I think he sleeps a lot. And I think they cover for the fact that he sleeps a lot. I think he wakes up intermittently in the middle of the night and has trouble going back to sleep for an hour, and then they either dose him or he passes out, in a rage.
Mhm.
But he's getting 12 hours, of choppy sleep a night. And what they
Well,
do is they
during
just
the day too, on camera.
yeah,
He's
right. Well, that's what I mean. That's why he keeps falling back asleep. But they
right.
load up his feed on Truth Social to make it look like he's on his phone all the time. Like all the links that they just pop in there, all the random stuff, and even some of the stuff that sounds like a quote from the day before. They just sit
Mhm.
there and listen to him, and they'll just take whatever he said almost verbatim, make minor changes, and like his little statements during the day are him dictating statements that will go out on Truth Sinkhole later, and then you just pop him up there in the middle of the night, like, oh my God, the guy never sleeps. His enemies best beware. When in reality, he's completely unconscious. Either they've ambient him out or he's passed out. But he's not getting proper sleep anyways. If he's not getting the sleep and he really is up awake all the time, that's terrible because you can't make good
Mhm.
decisions when you're sleep deprived. He's torturing himself. And the other one is that if they're covering for him, they're doing it for a reason, because they know even with 12 hours of sleep a night, he's still falling asleep in cabinet meetings.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think he's waking up and having panic attacks. I'm with you. You remember in the
Hmm.
first term when that came out that he was like he would come down to his office, actually start working at like noon,
Hmm.
and he had all that
Executive time.
executive time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is going on now? It's got to be even worse.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay.
they list it on his schedule as executive time still, but it's almost like a joke. Like they don't do it as consistently. He just isn't there. And there's like, I said after a while, there's going to be like a 3 hour or 5 hour window where they're going to have to do everything he does during that window where he's sundowning before and he's not coherent before those hours. They had a similar situation with Reagan. If you'll recall,
Yeah.
Reagan entered primary dementia during his second term. This was well
Mhm.
known. Everybody was aware of it. He had to do this thing where he would train his dog. He would play with the dog in the morning, and then he would count the leaves and petals that would fall in the pool outside the White House in the little like pond thing there. And if he couldn't do that as a focus exercise, he was done for the rest of the day. They just pulled his appointments. He wasn't talking to anybody because his brain would drift. And
Mhm.
this was Nancy became his handler. She would always be holding his hand when you saw him walking around. It was a stabilizing factor. You see that with Melania occasionally, although I'm not sure that makes him feel any better. But he's clearly in the exact same situation. He's going through, and it's interesting that Reagan, one of the reasons why he went into primary dementia was because the first time he was shot, that it was such a shock on his system that he would have probably not
Mm-hmm.
experienced it till he was in his mid 80s, but it brought it forward because it shaves years off your life going through a physical trauma like that. He had blood transfusions and all that kind of stuff. I think Trump's drug use and his just crap diet has brought it
Mm-hmm.
closer. And then I honestly think the 4 years of Biden, when he was really seeing the inside of a courtroom and really being shamed for not actually being a billionaire in public, being
Mm-hmm.
a sex pest and a predator his entire life, and not earning the women he has, either buying them through prenups and arrangements or attacking them. That shame and being pantsed in front of the world is what made him so rage filled. But it was also the first time I think he's ever faced any real stress in his life.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's being. Go ahead,
what
Anita.
do you think about what they do? They keep him busy with like the ballroom. Now it's the
Hmm.
the reflection pool. The golf courses in Washington. That seems to be what they're keeping him busy doing. He's not running the country. I don't.
Mm-mm.
Very few people are. I think there's Stephen Miller, Russ Voigt, and
Hmm.
maybe J.D. Vance are actually running it. You remember you talked about Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan kind of helped run the country. She would whisper in his ear when she wanted him to say something.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, Melania is no Nancy Reagan, let me just say.
She doesn't look at him in that adoring way. No,
Yeah,
the way Nancy would look at Reagan, like Ronald.
No, she looks. Melania looks at Trump like a cat would look at your corpse. When like they always say, like a dog will won't eat you when you die. They'll sit by you and cry, but a cat will go, all right, well you're a meal
abs-
now, right?
yeah,
She's got this kind
absolutely.
of like slit eyed disgust at him
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, unless she's there for her own event. She looked at
Mm-hmm.
that figure three robot nicer than she looks at him.
Yep.
So she got a warmer relationship with a piece of plastic. Don't get me started, ladies. But the whole the so he's supposed to meet with Xi Jinping this week, and I want to get your
Mm-hmm.
take on this because
Oh,
What could go
Xi Jin,
wrong? Mm.
Xi
yeah.
Jinping just purged the leadership of the military because he was worried about a coup himself. The economy in China is in deep shit and and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. They have a demographic collapse. They are no longer labor is cheaper in Mexico than it is in China. There are
Mm-hmm.
more English speakers in Mexico than there are. Like the irony that Trump has decided to pick a fight with Central and South America right at the time when cheap labor moves closer. We
Right.
have a better relationship with them. We have the USMCA, all those kind of things. China has taken advantage of it by moving factories to Mexico where they pay cheaper
Sure.
labor in Mexico. But he's going to go meet with them, and all they're going to be talking about is Iran. This won't have
Right.
anything to do with trade. They're not going to work
No.
out any of this
No.
stuff. It
Well, did
Well,
they
and
even?
it's assuming that
Sorry,
he
go Karen and then
actually
Anita.
has
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. It's assuming that he actually has any strategy or knowledge on how to negotiate these things. He doesn't. So I mean, it's just it's a joke. It's literally for him to just go and run his mouth. I mean, so he's going to do exactly what he wants to do.
Well, that this morning, he was asked, Anita. I'll get your take on this as well. But this morning, during this little gathering with, he's doing a bunch of RFK Jr. stuff to try and get the anti-vaxxer moms back on his side. Um, After the Roundup fiasco and a bunch of other stuff, they said, "What's your plan? Now that you've said their negotiations over, you don't like what they gave you. What's your plan?" He goes, my plan is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Okay, that's a goal, not a plan. I mean, that's
I don't know. I
just
just know that China
Hmm.
approved the plan that Iran put forward, right? The 4 point plan,
Hmm.
right?
uh,
And so,
well.
what are they going to do with that? That
Again,
because they're going to be talking about that.
the people that were meeting the Iranian leaders that met with Xi Jinping can't enforce the agreement that Xi Jinping insisted on them doing because the IRGC is a religious group. So we
Mhm.
killed everybody. It's like if you took out all the phony MAGA people, if they were wiped out in an explosion, and then the next level you had the like true believer America firsty crowd that are on Twitter and that kind of stuff, and they got wiped out. And now you're dealing with the QAnons like Marjorie Taylor Greene was when she first took over. That's who's running Iran
Mhm.
right now. No
Oh
matter who's
Jesus.
talking on their
Yeah.
behalf, that's who's in charge. And so they can go to China and say and make a deal in the same way that they're allegedly talking to Trump. They can't implement it. There is no because they killed everybody. And again, the Israeli aspect of this is that Israel, whether once this can of worms opened, the
Mhm.
idea that they can leave the IRGC leadership in place now, tactically, this is not like morally, we'll put aside their involvement in this and all this kind of stuff. But even people who hate Netanyahu are now stuck in a situation where he put them in a war situation where if this regime stays as it is, there'll be a dirty bomb in Tel Aviv, of course, because they'll have no other recourse. These guys want to go home. They want to go to the other side. They want to, die and go see the other. It's like evangelicals in the United States who tried to put a bomb under the fucking temple on the, Temple of the Rock or whatever. They to like call Jesus's bluff. That's who's in charge over there. And Trump
But so
doesn't
what is the
realize
way
that.
out? How do we?
Yeah,
I mean, what is the way out? Is there any way out? Or are we just kind of like?
no,
I just don't see. I mean, he started this. This is all not ended. Is not going to end well for
There's no
nope,
anybody.
strategery. Mhm.
none.
Yeah.
And again, that's the whole point I had with him. He doesn't have a plan. He has a goal, and he thinks goals and plans are the same thing. That is the basest form of idiocy, not just in business, but in like a militaristic sense. Like at that point, it becomes like I don't know if you ever saw there was the second to last Rambo movie or whatever, where he's just in Thailand, retired, and he takes a bunch of Christian missionaries up the river into Burma, and they're going to hand out Bibles and do stuff, and they're a bunch of do-gooders, and the whole thing is predicated on this idea of like, you don't want to go, leave it alone, you're going to get killed or whatever. And this one guy in their group is like, how dare you? They were boarded, and these guys, the Karen pirates or whatever, were gonna kill everybody on the boat, and Rambo kills them all. And the guy's like, "How dare you do that?" Well, by the end of the thing, that guy beats another guy to death with a rock because he's got no battle skills. He's in a corner, and his whole worldview has fallen apart because he's in a battle. He's in a situation he is not. He went into it ignorant. He thought he could win just by a force of will, and then he finds himself bludgeoning another human being to death because he's an asshole who started all
Mhm.
this shit. And Trump
Right.
is that guy. He's in this
Right.
situation where he thought he could just like flex the military and they would run screaming. And now like, I'll show you forever war. We can
Mhm.
stay forever. He literally said that. So he is that guy. He's that guy who would like, I can just will my way through this. I don't need a plan. And then when he gets backed into a corner, he's going to become a monster. That's why he's joking about
Right.
using a nuke.
Well, and
But he
something
did
that we've completely
said
given
about
up even
everything. He
talking.
said, "I'm going to go
Hold
up."
on. Let's go to hold on. Let me go to Anita first, then we'll go to you, Karen.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Anita.
He did that about everything. He said the same thing about cost. He was going to lower costs. Nobody ever asked him, "Well, how are you going to do that?" So what did he do? He ended up making everything worse. He does
Mhm.
that with everything. He said he would
Yep.
cut energy prices in half for people. What has he done? They've gone up like 12%,
They've
I think.
doubled.
He
Yep.
makes
No,
yes,
they've
he makes
literally doubled.
everything.
It's the exact
Yes.
opposite of what he said.
Yep.
He does. He like healthcare. He was going to give everybody this great, big, beautiful healthcare. And what has he done now? Like millions of people are losing their healthcare, and it's become more and more expensive.
Hmm.
Everything he does, he creates these messes. Instead of he makes everything worse.
Well,
That's what
so
he
And and
does.
okay,
and
go,
and
go
to
ahead,
the
Karen. Then I
can I
have
just
one
say
question
okay.
for both of you at
Okay.
as we wrap up. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things too that, I mean, we're not even talking about anymore. It's like we've all given up on this. The question too, where is the Republican Party in Congress? Why is it that they just get let off the hook? They could stop a lot of this
Hmm.
today, and yet they have completely usurped all of their power, right?
Hmm.
They have completely given up any
Yeah, they've
power
abdicated it. Right.
to yeah, abdicated, sorry. To be able to hold this guy in check,
Hmm.
act as a check. And nobody's really talking about it. We've like given up talking about it. The media's given up talking about it.
Well, yeah. So I don't, and I think out of futility, nobody really expects them to do anything. So it's not even a talking point anymore. Although I do think it should be addressed
It
with
should be addressed.
there should be an asterisk by everything that is said in the media, which is of course that the Republicans in Congress are doing nothing to to hold him at this. Now that one of the big things, there's two things I want to address and check with both of you on. And I want to thank you both for being on. Karen from Chicago, Anita from True Blue Politics. Love you guys. And hopefully I will see you in Chicago, in a week from Saturday.
Okay, can I just say this too?
Yeah,
Anita and I have started a new project. We are doing daily drops on our YouTube channel. You can go to True Blue Politics on YouTube and get our daily drops. And then we just dropped episode 60 of our bi-weekly podcast with Paul in Seattle. So that just dropped today. Head over to Patreon if you can and subscribe everywhere. Thank you.
that's right.
And thanks for
Absolutely.
having us on.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. Glad to. There's two kind of crucial aspects of this. One is that I, I there where do we even start? So the Chinese meeting this week is going to be a bust. It's just ridiculous. They have literally started refunding the tariffs this week. The same week he's going to China for this deal, the courts found not only were his older tariffs, which were obviously unconstitutional and illegal and are in the purview of the Congress, were they illegal, but even his follow-up blanket one on everybody for 150 days, those were illegal. So he's not going to be able to keep the funds that were collected during those. So they've
Mm-hmm.
started refunding all those things with interest. So
Yep.
this is going to cost the American people more money than than the money they took in from the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
If the government took in $150 billion, it's going to cost us $150 billion plus interest. And that comes from the taxpayer.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Anita, real quick.
No, we're not going to see it. The corporations, the middlemen, are going to get the refunds, right? So we're ending up paying them back.
Well, it
I mean, we're
depends.
not. We're not. We're the ones who paid. We ended up paying like 90% of the tariffs, right?
Yep.
Well, it depends.
To the
And
government.
again, part of it was a lot of it was so slapdash and thrown together so poorly. Walmart and Target, for example, did not pass on the tariffs. They ate them for a while. But what that did on their bottom line was they got to, again, people will talk about giant corporations and stuff, and there's definitely issues with I think the Black Rocks and those crowds or whatever. But the margin at Target and Walmart is 2%. 2% profit margin on the stuff they sell. And by the way, like Walmart is almost entirely a Chinese drop shipping company at this point. Like they just ship shit over from China, slap a label on it and sell it. This by and large, most of the clothes, almost every garment sold there is made in China. And so and they have this much of a margin on it. And they ate it by and large last year because they never knew what counted. This was so poorly done. It was so stupid, even in their poor implementation of it, that they didn't know whether it was going to go away, whether the courts were going to rule it. Their lawyers
Mm-hmm.
looked at it and went, "This is clearly illegal." So they were like, "Well, we'll rather than get our customers angry with us, which is the red base, we're
Right.
going to eat it for a while." So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the maggots throughout the red states didn't know for a long time that it was driving up prices everywhere else. They did it in cities on those kind of things. Sorry, go ahead, Anita. I'll unmute you
The
for a second.
small businesses. It was the small businesses that were hurting the most from
Right.
them, right?
Right.
Exactly. Right. And they've got the
Yeah.
least amount of recourse. They're the ones that, that are paying, they paid the most by percentage of what they sell. Their margin is larger but tighter. They need their overhead costs because they don't sell the volume that Target and Walmart do. They need 6, 8, you know, 10% markups on stuff to make a profit because their rent alone on a small business building or whatever is 4% of whatever profit you're taking in. It's that 4% overage. your business expenses plus 4% is your retail space, your warehouse, whatever you're storing shit in. So they're eaten alive by it. Whereas the big, I mean, box stores literally are called that because they are their own warehouse at the same time. The shit sits there in the store. Whereas if you're
Mm-hmm.
a smaller business, you're done.
How hard will it be for these smaller businesses to get refunds?
They're
Yeah.
last in line.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Hmm.
Because the legal fees to even in the filing are going to be expensive beyond maybe even what their like half of what their cost was, and they're better to just kind of shut up and be glad it's over,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it just
eventually
makes
it'll
me
get
sick
back to them. You're
when.
gonna see like probably next year, those mesothelioma ads that you see all over the place. You're gonna see a law firm go after tariffs for small businesses where that are either a class action or a similar
Yes.
thing, or help us hunt down like personal injury law. We don't
Mhm.
win unless you win, and they're going to take a piece of
Right.
whatever the tariff that you got taken. And what they'll do is they'll take the interest, and you just get your money back. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a business plan that any legal company with reach will jump on. And it's still going to cost the American people. The taxpayer is going to pay that interest to that law firm.
Mhm.
Right. And that's likely the Republican game plan, right? They're already thinking about how they can launch all these law firms that are going to do the class action lawsuits so that they can benefit. It
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
would have passed
I
them.
don't doubt that fucking Eric Trump is partnering
Mm-hmm.
with a law firm in Florida that just has a
Exactly.
mailbox and a fucking fake office, in
Right.
some strip mall somewhere that will run it, and all the ads will be AI, and nobody will ever see shit from it.
Right.
I
Like the
don't doubt it.
$100 deposit for the phones.
Oh right, yeah,
Was it 100 or 500? I mean, I know they haven't got their phones. Were the phones? Did the phones ever
No.
exist?
No, no, no. They just said you're not getting your phones and you're not getting your deposit back.
I know.
right,
I mean,
Yeah.
but did they ever exist, or were they just all? It was all fraud.
right,
I mean, from the
yeah.
very beginning, did they know that?
Right. And so the other one, obviously, the tariffs were a farce, and it's going to cost the American people, just like Doge did. Doge cost more than it saved. By
Yes.
the when all was said and done, Doge cost more than it saved, and people who relied on the soft power of the United States,
Mm-hmm.
which is our charitable works and our fighting disease and all that kind of stuff, which I would argue, if you want to do the greatest thing for homeland security that America could ever do is cure cancer. If
Mm-hmm.
we cure cancer and we provide that technology to the rest of the world and go, we got this. And by the way, our space program is almost entirely based on batting away any asteroids that might try to destroy all life on Earth. These are our two big things. We're going to do some exploration. We're going to go to Mars. We're going to go to the moon. We're going to try to mine some helium-3. We're going to do that stuff. But our primary goal is ending cancer and making sure it never comes back in any form and
Mm-hmm.
batting away any asteroid. Nobody would attack the United States ever again because their own survival would rely on it. And people would
Mm-hmm.
recognize the value of the country. Literally, if we improved healthcare with the same ferocity that we tried to build our military on, you know, cheering doctors and pharmacologists and pharmacists and nurses the way we do our soldiers who deserve all that, those kudos as well. Um, we would change the world in such a way that no one could live without us. But what
Right.
Trump is trying to do is wear out our welcome because he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
know any other way. He just doesn't.
Right.
No, he
So,
doesn't.
yeah, Anita, final word, and then Karen, and I'll let you go. Yeah.
No, I just, we're doing the opposite under Donald Trump. We're going
Mm-hmm.
backwards. We're people just completely, we're alienating ourselves instead of wanting
Hmm.
people to emulate us. We're
Hmm.
alienating everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really
And
Right.
that's
sad.
either an accident or it's on purpose. And I think
It's it's
from a Trump point of view, considering he wants to live in a gated community on a golf course, or in a tower in Mar-a-Lago like Howard Hughes, pissing in mason jars and growing his fingernails out as he slowly goes mad. he doesn't get other people. It's the same thing with the Palantir guys, and to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
the like some of the AI heads and even the heads at Google are like trying to eliminate all the people from their lives because that's who they are. They are, a creator makes their thing in their own image, and that's what Trump is doing. Trump can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine people getting along because he doesn't get along with anybody. He can't imagine people who have friends and family that love them because he doesn't have that, and he
Right.
won't
Right.
ever. Go
No,
ahead, Karen. Yeah.
and I think too, for me, I feel like, the people that voted for this, and they did vote for this, the people that are peeling away and unhappy about, the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, they're starting to feel it. This is just the beginning. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of pissed off people. I mean, just looking what SCOTUS did, what happened
Hmm.
in Tennessee, what happened in Virginia, and then, I mean, I've been monitoring the gas station near me. I go to Costco. I'm still paying, like almost $5 for gas going to Costco. The fact of the matter is, before this all started, I was paying 2.79 a
Yep.
gallon, and now it's gone up to 5.19 a gallon. And they
One of
can
the
sit there
Yeah.
and try and spin this any old way they want. It's not
Hmm.
going to work, and there will be no place for these Republicans nor these oligarchs to hide.
Right. Well, I appreciate you both being on. I do
Thank
think that
you.
one of the upsides of this oil shit coming around again, just like it did under Iraq, is demand destruction, and that people might be giving a second look at electric cars in a way that Trump is going to be chasing in the second half of his term. While he can talk about how much oil and gas we produce, we do not produce enough just for our own vehicles. And one of the ways that we extract ourselves from, a reliance on Middle Eastern production or the cost of oil in the world is by not using it anymore. So,
That's it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anyways, appreciate you both for being on. Thank you. Hopefully next time we'll have better audio, but you guys are welcome back anytime. Anita, thank you
Oh,
again.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All
thank
right.
you. All
Cheers.
right.
Yeah.
Love
I'll see you
y'all.
guys later.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
There they go. Anita and Karen from True Blue Politics. Please check out their drops on True Blue Politics, their YouTube channel. And Trump, by the way, while we were all talking and I was playing human mute button on the feedback on that, we'll remedy that in the future. I just gotta, yeah, yeah. Trump was falling asleep in the Oval Office again during his meeting because he's so bored. They literally have to speak louder just to go, "That's why I love Trump." Like, and he'll like, huh? Like he starts to go, and then they clearly like, here, I'll play what they were saying.
Pharmaceutical cost. So Trump RX has brought a lot of the prices of medications down. For me personally, Gonal F has been one of the main medicines that people use for egg retrievals, and that I cannot find it anywhere on any other website or for cheaper. So thank
It's like watching a dude fall asleep on the train. Just
you so much to you guys for doing all.
just done. And that's this morning. That's in the, yeah, the droopy mouth is a giveaway. Yeah, especially and the right side of his face, the whole like it starts to go. It's yeah. There was. I'm gonna see if I can find it. There was a bit where he said this morning. Um. Yeah. It was this Dr. Oz being stupid. 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. I think he's being funny or attempting to be funny. Like they don't have enough. Or people aren't having enough kids. That whole business. Um. That would be here.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me speak a little bit about the reality that 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. What does underbabied mean? That means that you either don't have any children or you have less children than you would normally want to have. And to
Also, what do you mean normally want to have? People can have the babies they want to have or not have the babies they don't want to have. That's super fucking weird. And underbabied?
Katie's point, we have a crisis that's causing our fertility rate to drop below 1.5. The replacement rate is 2.1. So we're way below what we need just to replace the people that we have in America.
Right. And Trump is going to need to be replaced very soon himself. Now, there is, by the way, hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mornings, Mega Worldwide. I'm going to back this up because I want to show this other thing. I mean, again, this was absurd to start with. I got to find the actual clip itself from, oh, maybe it was on there. Go forward. There we go. When he first started taking questions on, there it is, on Iran, his sort of primary response, they were like, what's going to happen, with Iran? His response about what's your plan? My plan is they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Also, there was this weird one where he called, like, there in the 2020 election, there were a lot of dirty cops, and Comey was a dirty cop. Comey wasn't the head of the FBI during the 2020 election. Ray was, who was Trump's replacement. A lot of this is just, okay. All right, I think this might be the part where he says he's got the plan. It's so fucking weird. It's so hard to tell. Again, this is gibberish by all measures.
In the world, I built it largely in my first term.
Let's talk about the military that he's completely responsible for the military that we have.
And I didn't know I'd be using it quite this much in my second term. But very simply, when they say, does he have a plan? Yeah, I have a plan. The plan is very simple. In war, you have to change. You have to be flexible. You have a lot of plans, but you have to do different plans in different days. But I have a great plan. But the plan is they cannot have a nuclear weapon. And they didn't say that in their letter.
That, I mean, never mind. I just, for fuck's sake, what?
Dumb, stupid.
It's amazing.
Dumb, silly, stupid, dumb.
Not a plan. Not a plan. Not a plan. A goal, not a plan. Also, you have to be flexible and have a lot of plans. Okay, no. You have a lot of tactics, but you have a strategy. And your strategy has to move you towards the goal. So there are 3 tiers of this, and you don't move. The plan isn't the goal, and you don't have a lot of different plan goals at the same time, especially ones that are contradictory or that your enemy itself can't agree to, lest they will be killed, because you don't even make that a strategy at all. You just got to be aware of that. Like, no, we got a choice. We want to take this hill. They got to die. That's it. That is the extent of the discussion of the goal. If they're not going to give that up without a fight, you're going to have to fight. That's it. Now you start talking about how you fight, whether it's long or short, whether it's attrition or guerrilla warfare or it's economic, well, all that over the bucket, right? That's the strategy and the tactics involved. This is just fucking gibberish. Like, and look at his face.
Dumb, 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 dumb. Dumb, dumb, stupid, dumb, silly, stupid, dumb, dumb, dumb.
That's amazing. Huh? I have a great plan. The plan is they can't have a nuclear weapon. Okay. Not a plan, asshole. Never was. I don't, and maybe some maggot can explain this to the rest of us. There are several shots of him being bored shitless and effectively starting to pass out in these. Oof. Yeah, there's a big point about this is the AP. Yeah. Yeah, the Getty image today. I don't know what the red dot is. They're just blacking out other people, maybe just to focus on his face. But his droopy face. Whoops. Did I freeze up? What happened? This is business. Nope, we're good. All right. I was worried about that taking its own sweet time. Where's the thing? What are you doing? All right, hold on. Sometimes you can't tell. Oh, there it is. Okay, there you go. Yeah, look at his face. This is not good. That is not a healthy man. Yeah, he's got resting nut face. Right. This is Aaron Rupar's like posting of an image from Getty on this. But it, Hal, could you please switch back to a non-moving background? As I get motion sickness, constantly being distracted by I haven't been able to watch the show in weeks now. I'm terribly sorry, Catherine. I will let me see if I got something in here that's not too doesn't have too much motion in it. Pause. Hold on. Stop moving. You silly thing. Hold on. Boink. Is that too much motion? Is that have too much motion in it? I think I could pause it. Is that all right? Is that better? You see Anita's ceiling fan. Yeah. That was making me a little loopy. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Was the big red dot? I don't know. I don't know what the big red. I think they were just blocking somebody out in this particular instance, but it's so hard to tell. All right. This morning though, it was a great example of just him. Here we go. They asked him about hantavirus. And again, like after COVID, why anybody would take anything that he says seriously is beyond me. But whoops, let me slide this over here. This is him talking about hantavirus.
Alert. Why was it? Why did it take the US 4 days to issue an alert?
It's not true. As soon as we determined that the virus was out there, we issued an alert. The alert means nothing because all the people.
I saw the alert too.
Yeah.
Give me a
Those
minute. They
reports
acted
were
very,
not
very
true.
quickly, and it looks like, and can't bet anybody's life on it, but it looks like it's just a disease that we've had around in a very small way for a long time. Not a good one to catch because, it's a very severe disease if you catch it, but it's very hard to catch. Daniel, did you have a question?
One last one, Senator.
Just move straight on. Ugh. Yeah, and again, like their kind of rando post idea of handling it, without actually doing anything about it. Again, this is a government run entirely as a PR operation, just for the record. Let me go back to here. One of these days they'll update the buttons on the Stream Deck so they can use the new eCam. But until that happens, dumb. Yes, the flu is definitely dangerous to the elderly, and that's why Trump has gotten his flu shot every year. For the record. Overall, though, you can tell when Trump is just bored by anybody who, is talking about anything but him. And even then, it gets dull after a while. He just gets bored with flattery at this point. Let's see. This is okay. Oof. Overall, let's see. And then, oh yeah, the other thing is that he was talking about, mainly, I think because he had Katie Britt in the room, he was talking about autism this morning and how they've got to.
There's another word, autism.
There is another word, autism. And this is his argument for why he thinks it happened was originally, if you'll recall, it was Tylenol. Apparently they did all these studies and they figured out all of a sudden, where is it, that Trump is...
So taking Tylenol is not good.
Right. So that was the solution. Jesus Christ. That was the solution for the last time. But apparently it hasn't been solved yet.
That we're very much involved with.
There's a word, autism, that we're very much involved with. Said no one who speaks English ever.
There's another word, autism, that we're very much involved with.
Yes, we want to be very much involved with the word autism.
And I have my own ideas, but
Yes. And they're right up there with shove a light bulb up your ass and drink bleach.
Oz and Bobby and everybody, they're really focused on it very hard. I think in a certain way, I would like you to look at the payment schedules, Bobby, because I think it's very skewed.
The payment schedules.
Because of the payment schedules. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
We're bringing you some ideas.
I think it
Mr.
has to
President.
be, I think it's crazy. I think that's what's happening. Ken.
He doesn't mean payment schedules. He means vaccine schedules. No, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, YouTube. I swear to God, he means vaccine schedules, but he can't think of anything else because he's fucking stupid. Like this is, what does it say about the people around him that he's got to make up some sort of bullshit phrase like payment schedule? You know what I'm talking about. Oof.
Dum 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 dumpin' dum 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 stupid dum silly
way,
stupid dum dum.
I'm not talking about Trump at this point. His fucking brain is
really dumb.
His brain is gone. I'm talking about RFK Jr. and Oz at this point saying, we understand. Let's play that back. Payment schedule.
And there's another.
Doc Adam has to cover this. Everybody tell Doc Adam about this clip. I need to hear his take on
Word
it.
autism.
The word autism that we're very involved with. Again, what he says after is so fucking stupid that the beginning of it, you almost forget how dumb the first thing was.
And there's another word, autism, that we're very much involved with. And I have my own ideas, but Oz and Bobby and everybody, they're really focused on it very hard. I think in a certain way, I would like you to look at the payment schedules, Bobby, because I think it's very skewed because of the payment schedules. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
We're bringing you some ideas.
I think it
Mr.
has to
President.
be. I think it's crazy. I think that's what's happening. Can't pay more for that to a doctor. I mean, every person around is going to have autism. That's what's happening. So, because I really believe.
So yeah, there's a cash incentive for people to diagnose people with autism, is his argument. And so you have more autism because doctors are getting rich taking care of kids with autism.
Very badly skewed. But more importantly, Frank, but I would like that done immediately. But more importantly, I think that...
Again, nothing... What are you going to do about it? Not have people specialize in taking care of kids with autism?
Some great progress has been made as to why, what is this thing that's happening all over the world, but here, what is it? What's going on? And there has to be something because it spiked so much over the last 10 years. It's spiked over the last 15 years. It's gone up many, many times. And I think it's a very important thing.
In that room.
To mention. I mention it all the time, having to do with other subjects, and then I bring in autism. Anything having to do with medical, I always bring in autism.
Jesus Christ. Anything having to do with medical, I always bring in autism. And then, oh, by the way, then he talks about vats of stuff. This is where his brain was before. So this is what the schedule part that he's talking about, where he goes, let's see. Yeah. And there's so many overlaps to this. Yeah, where I bring up autism. We get the last rights again, kids. All right, and this is hold on. He was all over the map in this thing. So, let me find this one. And he's zonked out. Hold on. I'll just grab this one. I like Trump vats of. Yeah, here you go. Whoops. vaccines. His, like, I'm sure some of you, yeah. This is the interview that he did over the weekend, where he looked like hammered shit again. This is around the same stuff. So this is him describing when children are vaccinated, and like somebody has a giant beaker full of goo, and they just draw a huge syringe out of it and inject it into a baby, like it's sitting there on a fucking countertop, like a Wild West doctor. So you'll yeah. So here's this part of it. Hold on. Move this out of the way. There we go.
I believe in vaccines, but I don't believe that, you have to have a mandate for all
Sorry. Hold on. Yeah,
of them. The polio vaccine's amazing. It's, wiped it out. And I believe in vaccines, but, I think we were up to 88 vaccines. And I really feel that vaccines, if they were given in smaller quantities, they want to cut some out, and that's good too. And I agree with that. 82 is too many. If you look at Denmark and other countries, you have 12, 14, I think 17. And we have like 80.
Also because they give them later as well. We just don't, because largely maggots in general don't do their kids when they're like in middle school and high school, when you would give the rest of them. So you just knock them out right away.
Too. But I look at these beautiful little babies, and they get a vat, so like a big glass of stuff pumped into
No, they don't.
their bodies. And I think it's a very negative thing to do. And I would like to see it.
Yeah, I agree. Injecting babies out of a vat of something, probably not good. If it's happening anywhere, it should stop. It isn't happening here.
Not doing this in terms
A fucking vat. Listen to this. And by the way, he's not saying, like, you hear about this. I've seen.
the countries. You have 12, 14, I think 17. And we have like 82. But I look at these beautiful little babies, and they get a vat, so like a big glass of stuff pumped into their bodies. And I think it's a very negative thing to do.
Okay, never. Not only did he not change his own kids' diapers and do any of the normal parenting that a father does when his kids were little, but he sure as shit wasn't there when they were vaccinated. Didn't go to doctor's appointments. Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you think Trump actually went to Barron or Don Jr. or Eric or Ivanka's? Maybe Ivanka's. Yeah, he probably went to her doctor visits. But he certainly wasn't there when they did this. Good God. From Catitude Shop. Alzheimer's Association lists word finding trouble, repeated words, describing objects instead of naming them, losing train of thought. Yeah, sounds kind of familiar, don't you think? Exactly. Also, thanks, Boston Brian, for saying belated Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Appreciate it. And then, of course, you need to pay these people to. And thank you, JD Christie, for the 666, helping us buy 666 Fifth Avenue. You can help as well through Super Chats and patreon.com/HouseBarks. Okay, so hit the like. And also, if I may, let's see, is this in here? Yeah. Don't forget, we're going to be at the Celestia Theater in outside of Akron at Wadsworth, Ohio. Come see us. Tickets are $25, worth every penny. I mean, some of my high notes are worth that by themselves. I'm just saying. We're a faithful rendition. Come see us. We're worth the drive. He probably took pictures. I know, Gino. So over the last, a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna go back to this. Where are we? It's just getting worse. For the record, this. There you go. Go back to here. His brain there again, I said there was going to be a 3 to 5 hour window where he would be able to, hold it together. That's gone. Like, and now it's like he's needle dropping on whatever his current gripe is or some muscle memory shit he used to say during the campaign that he no longer believes. And the idea that in war you have to be flexible and you need multiple plans, but I have one plan. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon, is just as insane as everything else he's said. But I think the primary one is the fact that he is basically dozing off
during the earliest years of their children's lives.
During all
Second,
of these
we are
things.
cutting unnecessary red tape that forced providers to close, limited access to care, and made it harder for working families to find the support they needed. We're moving away from one-size-fits-all federal mandates and instead empowering parents to meet their child's unique needs. And then third, we're strengthening accountability to
Now, I don't like at that moment. I don't think he's falling asleep in that one. The way, like Aaron Rupar says, Trump is about to hit REM sleep on camera in the Oval. I don't think he's falling asleep there. I think he's just bored with the reality of the actual thing. I think he's bored shitless of anybody talking about anything but why he's a super warrior or whatever. That he just isn't interested. And so they, unless they throw his name onto something, okay, here's another example. This is on health, by the way. This is on moms and health and how moms care about the health of their kids. All right, this is what this morning was about. That and some pharmaceuticals that he wants, moms to be on so they have more babies and shit like that. And this is him. This has more to do with him fighting back against the anti-IVF people on the Republican side than anything else, because they all think it's another form of abortion, because in IVF, if you have, 20, 40 eggs, whatever you're using to go through the process that you go through, once you become pregnant, they chuck the rest of them and they're not carried to term. And you've got a bunch of fertilized eggs that are human beings and they're being discarded. So maggots hate this by and large, including Amy Coney Barrett and stuff, but they can't push back against it because it's so political that Trump will totally jettison all that shit. But this is about junk food.
Look at the people up here; they're all like brilliant. I'm one of the young ones. That's right. I'm a similar age to all of you. Very similar. I feel the same as them. I actually feel for sure. I don't know what this is. I feel the same as I did 50 years ago. Yeah.
All right, then you must have felt like shit 50 years ago. Also, proof that they've got him on steroids. I'm not kidding. I don't mean like muscle building steroids. I mean general steroids.
It's crazy. Someday there'll be a day when that won't happen. I'll let Bobby and Oz know. It's not quite the same, but I feel literally the same. I don't know why. It's not because I eat the best foods. Maybe they are the best foods. Who knows what the best foods are? Maybe junk food is good and the other food is no good. I know people that eat.
Yeah, there you go. Your president, ladies and gentlemen.
Eat the best food. They go to a restaurant. They have celery, and I don't want. And I'll have steak and everything else. And I say, "How you doing?" Well, it's over for me at a young age. And all they do is watch it. I know many, many people that all they do is watch their weight, their this, their that. And they kick the bucket, and here we are. I feel great. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, he feels great. He's got makeup on both hands. His ankles look like they're going to burst out of his fucking socks. He lumbers. The right side of his face is dragging. He feels great because everybody does shit for him. And he doesn't he's like, I feel great. You're not going to throw your fucking back out reaching for a Diet Coke when you have a button on your desk that has somebody bring it to you. Also, the idea that, junk food is, you got all these moms here and your thing is junk food might be the best thing for you. Again, I don't know. Maybe, what a terrible thing. Like, for maggots, don't listen to this. Look, there are a lot of things that were allegedly healthy for you that aren't. There are a lot of things that are allegedly bad for you that aren't. But none of those things are junk food. Junk food is shit no matter what. Like, it's the idea that the preservatives in them somehow preserve you is just stupid. And again, I like this isn't going to damage our side of the aisle. It's just going to kill off a bunch of maggots. Okay, there is another thing. Yeah, Trump and his dirty cop thing, his the autism bit. And this is by the way, you guys remember how they used to refer to Russia as a gas station with nukes? Well, apparently that Trump thinks that's aspirational, because here's Trump talking about America is a big filling station. Our dream has come true, guys.
You're going to suspend the federal gas tax?
Yeah, I'm going to reduce
She said, "Are you going to suspend the federal gas tax?"
until the. Let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock. Going to be dropping down like a rock. I mean, already, look, just on
Also, no, not already.
the basis of, things have happened.
Just on the basis of, let me change.
When it first came about, 20%
Oh, this is what is this going to be like? It was going to be $200 a barrel, and now it's not.
of the oil came out of Hormuz. That's a lot. But with time, it's like they go into Texas, they go into Louisiana, they go into Alaska. A lot of Alaska. Alaska's, sort of. It seems like very far away from Asia, but
No, it doesn't.
it's actually a relatively short trip. Like
Fuck me. Yeah, I know. I've heard something about the land bridge, for example.
comparison to other
People were able to walk it a few thousand years ago.
locations they have to go to get oil, and they go into Alaska. In fact, our big problem is we're building bigger docking to fill up. But we have
That's a problem. We're building bigger docks.
become very big on the filling station. We're a big filling station.
We've become very big on the filling station. Let's that sentence over again.
The problem is we're building bigger docking to fill up.
Yes, we know what a dock is. It's what you need to see immediately after this to check and maybe have a fourth dementia test.
We've become very big on the filling station. We're a big filling station. And what's happening is when people heard about losing Hormuz, they said, oh, it's genius. They're finding other locations. And some of those people, I spoke to them, companies and countries, some of those people are going to continue to go to Texas. They like it better. They said it's an extra 45 minutes. They like it better. And
it's an extra 45 minutes. From where? Sorry. Sorry. Fucking wait. What is from the Strait of Hormuz? What's an extra 45 minutes? What do you mean? Western Europe? I guess. Is that what he's talking about? Who doesn't, by and large, get their shit from there? Also, these are companies, not countries. Okay. This business. Hold on. Let me play this again. It froze up.
it's sort of amazing, it found its way. So a lot of people thought oil would go to $250, $300. It's not. I mean, today
Because it might go to 200. He's now pushed it to 250, 300.
it's at less than 100. Think of that.
Mm-hmm. I am.
You're going to suspend the federal
Let's go through that again, shall we?
gas tax?
Yeah, I'm going to reduce until let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock. Going to be dropping down like a rock. I mean, already, look.
Like a rock.
Just on the basis of, things have happened.
Oh, shit.
When it first came about, 20%.
By the way, when it first came about, you mean when we, along with Israel, first attacked Iran?
Of the oil came out of Hormuz. That's a lot. But you know, with time, it's like they go into Texas, they go into Louisiana, they go into Alaska, a lot of Alaska. Alaska's, you know, sort of, it seems like very far away from Asia, but it's actually a relatively short trip by comparison to other locations they have to go to get oil. And they go into Alaska. In fact, our big problem is we're building bigger docking, to fill up. But we've become very big on the filling station. We're a big filling station.
Jesus Christ.
And what's happening is, when people heard about losing Hormuz, they said, oh, it's genius. They're finding other locations.
It's not genius. They're not finding other locations. They might be buying from us, but it's a finite amount, asshole. Alaska isn't producing a replacement amount of oil from the entire fucking Middle East. And the Saudis and UAE and Oman and all these other countries that produce oil in the Middle East aren't going to just sort of take it lying down. Right? The idea is they're going to start choking off the amount of oil they produce through pipelines and other stuff to keep the price up. Because they'll need to, because it's more expensive to send it via pipeline than through ships. And if they can't send the ships, the price will go up, which is exactly, and then it'll maintain a higher level. Now, our American-based oil companies, along with BP and a bunch of other companies, will make more money, but they're subsidized and they get tax breaks anyways. It's not going to bring the price of gas down in the United States if more of the oil that's made here is sold on the open market because there's less available. It's standard supply and demand.
And some of those people, I spoke to them, companies.
Some of those people, companies and countries.
Some of those people are going to continue to go to Texas. They like it better. They said it's an extra 45 minutes. They like it better. And
they like it better.
Sort of amazing, it found its way. So a lot of people thought oil would go to $250, $300.
Oof. Okay, so you get the point. Like, this is, at this point, if you're Susie Wiles, you're like looking for the cane with a hook on the end of it. Good God. Hold on real quick. I want to check something. Hey, there we go. Brent crude 104. Where did I get this? Hold on. Bring this up. There you go. Brent crude is at 104. Murban crude is 102. There you go. And WTI crude is at 98.51, up $3 just today. It's so good. It's all happening. There you go. And by the way, in the green, the OPEC basket is lower because it's more expensive and whatever, and you can't get it, so nobody's bothering. Mexican oil is up. Hold on, I'll show you these things. Hold on. Let me bring this up on here. So there you go. WTI up $3, 3% change. Brent crude up $3, 3% change, almost identical, $1.04. Murban crude $1.02. There's natural gas, and heating oil. All these things are up. WTI Midland, which is Texas, again, up $3. Same thing, up almost $4, $3.77. The OPEC basket is down, mainly because you can't buy it, right? And it's split a bunch of around a bunch of other shit. Yeah, there's Dubai. All these ones that are stuck, you can't buy them. Although Louisiana Light is down because it's, again, we don't have the factories to refine it. We don't have the refinery capabilities. Yeah, it's just ticking up as we sit here. Yeah, there you go. That's the June contract. These are people buying it, out over the last little bit. Here's where it went. Oh, move this down here. There you go. Yeah, it's over. Actually, it's not. This is market manipulation. This is what market manipulation looks like right there. At that cliff right there. Complete horseshit. Yeah, he can fix it with one. Trump can fix this with one phone call. He knows about oil more than the seagulls after the Exxon Valdez do. He knows more about the ISIS than the generals, and more about oil than P Diddy. Right. Midland, also near Connor Story's hometown. It's also where the Bushes are from. Right. Oil people. You'd think we'd have learned this lesson a while back with the idea of like people who are resource millionaires or billionaires. Yeah. Eliosher leads the subject. So yeah, this will climb today. And again, the OPEC basket is just you can't get it. That's why the price is going down. But it's still at $1. It's $107, even as it goes down. Yeah, Trump doesn't know shit about any of this stuff. So this is, and again, what Iran deal? That's the other question, I suppose, is the primary one. What Iran deal are we talking about? Like, he hasn't talked about what the details. He just said he didn't like what they said. Yeah. Okay. He talks about Ozempic at one point, the fat shot, because he wants to talk about his friend who's fat and still fat, even though, again, Trump's just always used speed, I guess, to keep himself in the athletic shape we all are aware of. This would be here. There you go.
$1,370. It's true. In New York.
It's the cost of Ozempic in Europe.
And this went on for a long time.
In London, or here versus London is what remember, he keeps bringing it up. It's $18 over there, and it's whatever.
And I want to tell you, he could be a famous guy. He's begging me not to release his name. He's a very highly neurotic, very fat, sort of a fat slob, I would call him. But he's a brilliant man. We know many of those people. He's a brilliant guy, actually. But he said, President, what the hell's going on here?
By the way, this is a friend of his, allegedly.
He didn't need the money. He's rich.
And look, I know he doesn't have friends.
But he just couldn't understand why he had to pay so little in London. He went to London, and he couldn't understand it. He said, this is crazy. And 1,000.
Yeah. So he's told this story a bunch of times, and it was always a week ago. Like, it just hasn't changed at all. Let's see. Yeah, it's the autism thing. We brought that up. Let's see. Does the ceasefire remain in place is the big question. And that's what everybody's been wondering, what's going to affect oil prices. And this is this morning. So over the course of the trading day, one of the reasons why the price of oil has gone up $4 today and why it took a dive on Friday because of the market manipulation is because of shit like this. So here's exactly why the price went up today. And if you knew he was going to say something this stupid, or you're standing outside the Oval, you're like, call my broker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, buy right now. Yeah, and sell it in like 3 hours. Cool. Like, that's what's happening in the Oval Office.
What?
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place.
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even finish reading it. Well, that might be the only honest thing he said, other than calling his friend fat. Again, friend in air quotes, of this entire thing.
I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support.
No, they're not.
Is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living. Yeah.
Mr. President.
That's his ceasefire and Mr. Dealmaker.
Daniel, go ahead.
Yep.
And again, that is precisely why oil went up $4 in the last couple hours.
What?
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place.
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now.
Okay, also, the ceasefire is weak. Let's just talk for a second about him not being able to, like him just gapping words and not being able to form a sentence. That makes no sense. It's so weird just trying to like parse it together. Like I'm, I think most of us after a while, the madness that goes along with the time that we're in is that I think I know what he's trying to say. It's at a weak point or something. But the idea that the ceasefire is as weak and it's on life support, and it's got a 1% chance of making it. It sounds like he's trying to give himself an excuse to attack Iran again and make it all their fault. And this was always the plan. Seriously, this was always the plan. There was never going to be an agreement, and certainly don't kill any moderates or anybody that you were negotiating with. Boil the entire leadership down to like leftover IRGC lunatics and then go, yeah, we're talking. It's great. The talks are going great. You do that so you can claim that you're only dealing with people who are insane, and you can continue your attack. And by the way, the Israelis have a reason to kill off anybody who might be negotiating with us. That's what Trump was saying. Like, they're worried about talking to us because they might get killed. The IRGC leadership, that are currently there, are doing the exact same thing. They're killing off people that might negotiate on their behalf because they don't like what they're hearing. It's a clusterfuck, and it's because there is no plan. There is no strategy. He thinks his plan is they can never have a nuclear weapon again, which is a goal, not a plan. It's not a tactic. It's not a strategy. How you get to that goal is what tactics, plans, and strategies are for. And he does not seem to know that. Yeah, his concepts of a ceasefire that sucks. So at this point, I mean, there has to be. I was about to say there has to be some sort of intervention amongst the people around him, but I don't see that happening. So one of the things they tried to do was this is a tactic. This is actually a tactic, a strategic move. Is that they sent guns to the Kurds so that the Kurds would get them into Iran to the people so they could rise up and kill the local IRGC folks. Okay. So Trump traded arms to the Kurds that were bordering with Iran, the specific group, not the ones in Iraq and the ones deeper into Syria or close to the Turkish border, but the ones that are that have links inside Iran. And we sent them a bunch of weapons, and they kept them. They kept them because he makes great deals. So
the lunatics want to fight till the end. It'll be a very quick fight.
He means the IRGC leadership at this point.
But I call them. You have, just like our country, we have lunatics too. We have.
Yeah, you mean you and Keg Breath and Patel and.
I call them lunatics. I call them stupid people too.
Oof. I call them lunatics. I call them stupid people too. One would think there's a difference between a lunatic and a moron, except in this case, in which case he's a package deal, ladies and gentlemen.
But in Iran, they have the moderates dying to make a deal, and then you have the lunatics, and I guess they're a little bit afraid of the lunatics, but...
But enough about the Republicans in Congress.
And why not?
And why not?
The level of ferocity for protests, the people...
The level of ferocity for protest. I got it, this might be as bad as I've seen it during waking hours. Like, this is the kind of shit he's normally saying around 6 o'clock, right? The moron you know. I agree. We should. on, you know.
Are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but the Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take.
We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons. No, fucking hell. We gave them weapons to give to the Iranians. We gave the Kurds weapons to give to the Iranians, and they kept them. Listen, this is allegedly a grown man, president of the United States.
And why not? The level of ferocity for protest. You know, the people.
The level of ferocity for protest.
People are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but the Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take. They have a great reputation in Congress. Congress says, oh, they fight so hard. No, they fight hard when they get paid. So I'm very disappointed in the Kurds, but they were given. I said it wasn't going to work, by the way. I just have to say it. I disagreed with what they did. They gave it. I said, they'll never get there.
Did you see that? Like he's working his way to what really happened with some recognition that he was talking out of his ass. He's like, I disagreed with giving them weapons because I said they would never get there. No, he didn't. They didn't give him his daily shot of balloon juice. No, he's just full of balloon juice. Shit.
I call them, you have, just like our country, we have lunatics too. I call them lunatics. I call them stupid people too.
I call them lunatics. I call it like, fuck, man. This is.
But in Iran, they have the moderates dying to make a deal, and then you have the lunatics, and I guess they're a little bit afraid of the lunatics, but and
a little bit.
Why not?
Why not? And why not? Why wouldn't you be afraid of a lunatic?
The level of ferocity for protest. You know, the people are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but
we thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons. That's the first version.
Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take. They have a great reputation in Congress. Congress says, oh, they fight so hard. No, they fight hard when they get paid. So I'm very disappointed in the Kurds, but they were given. I said it wasn't going to work, by the way. I just have to say it. I disagreed with what they did. They gave it. I said, they'll never get there. And I was right. I like to be right. In this case, too bad, but we sent.
Just holy shit. And I don't know who he's talking about. I think maybe he thinks Congress. And remember how Trump said that Iran agreed Friday? I think it was Friday. You'll lose track because the days all bleed together. But you remember how he said that they agreed to all the nuclear, I don't know, provisions that we sent them, and everybody was like, "No, they didn't." Like, I don't even need to read what the fuck you're saying they sent. It didn't happen. Like, they're not going to do it. Like, how could they? Especially at this point. So no, they did not say that. And here's proof. So Trump said, right? Trump told everybody that they agreed to get rid of their nuclear arsenal, their nuclear materials, their nuclear dust, whatever he fucking called it.
Agreed to allow the removal of all their enriched uranium.
Yeah. Iran has agreed to remove to the removal of all of their enriched uranium, is what he said.
They did it 2 days ago. They didn't. Okay. They did.
They did 2 days ago. Okay.
2 days ago, they said, you're going to have to take it. We were going to go with them, but they changed their mind because they didn't put it in the paper. So when they sent us this document that we waited 4 days for, that should have taken 10 minutes to do, look, very simple. We get that. They guarantee no nuclear weapons for a very long period of time, and a couple of other minor things, but they just can't.
A couple other minor things. Like they get control of the Strait of Hormuz from now on.
So they agree with us, and then they take it back.
So they didn't agree then, dummy. a verbal agreement isn't worth the paper it's printed on, I think is someone who wrote The Art of the Deal might know this, that unless it's actually agreed to, it's not a fucking agreement.
Agreed to allow the removal of all their enriched uranium.
Yeah. Well, they did it 2 days ago. They didn't, okay? They did 2 days ago.
No, they didn't 2 days ago.
Because
the thing they agreed to 4 days later didn't have it in it. So it was 2 days and then it's 4 days in the same sentence, by the way.
Said, you're going to have to take it. We were going to go with them, but they changed their mind because they didn't put it in the paper. So when they...
All right. Again, it's all gibberish. There is no there. Like, and I don't know why the market, like people in the market can keep believing this shit. I honestly don't understand it. I don't know how they keep buying it, and it affects the like the price of oil goes down and then up again because they're actually I do have a theory, but it's largely based on the idea that a lot of this is automated now, and the AI, bots that they have making these trade decisions actually are predicated on like history. They're like autofill. What used to apply applies. So if the president says we have peace in the Middle East, the price of oil will go down. And if he says we're at war in the Middle East, it will go up. And it just auto fills that. So a lot of this is just digital. So, yeah. All right. And then this is Trump running out of words again. This is just fucking brutal.
Just absolutely decimated. But, I was hunted. I was the hunter. Now I'm the, I was the hunted then, and I had to devote a lot of time to that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been too effective. Yeah. If I was out of office, I wouldn't have been. So I was hunted by some very bad people. Now I'm the hunter. It's much better when you're the hunter. But these are bad people, and they'll give you no support at all, no matter how good it is. I mean, as an example, I don't know what.
Also, by the way, he just starts talking about how Democrats won't vote with him, and that's him being the hunter, as if every Republican ever hasn't fought with the other party to try and get votes and complained when they didn't go along with whatever the main focus of your party is. Again, like this is fucking new.
The numbers are, but if we go to Congress to get something approved, which we get, but you can say that we're going to reduce drug prices by 80%, and we won't get one Democrat vote. I don't know how they get away with it. That's why we call them the Democrats. We have a new name. They're Democrats because they're dumb. They're dumb people, and they just can't do it. I've been waiting so long for them to change, but they just keep losing, and they're going to keep losing with their policies. But we reduce prices by 70-80%, and it's such a big deal.
No, we haven't. That actually has not happened.
I'd like to ask.
They're the Democrats. That's the master media manipulator, the guy everybody fears getting dragged by. The Democrats. That's what he's come up with. Also, by the way, some of you may have noticed that he actually said he lowered prices by 80%, which is materially possible, if not false, but it's still possible to lower something by 80%. And then, of course, that doesn't sound good enough to him, so we're back to 500%.
Prices have gone down 1/8 of 1%, which is the first time in 28 years that prices have gone down for prescription drug prices and other. I was so proud of that, and now I reduced them by 500%. Perhaps that's experience. I always knew that we were being just absolutely.
Yeah, down by 500%. So congratulations, everybody. The drug companies are now paying you to take their drugs more than the drugs cost, I presume. And again, this was top of the day. Oh, we're out of time. Oh, sorry. I will see you guys this afternoon. I got carried away. And yeah, and then he's threatening Katie Britt. This is his. This is him complaining how the media makes fun of the fact that he says 800%.
We're reducing drug prices by 500, 600%, or 80%, or 75%. Anyway, it's all about the phrasing of the question. And the media doesn't write about it. It's amazing. It's so sad. It's so biased. And that's why
it's so not happening.
The media, their approval rating went down just today, 12%. You're at 12%. That's why I got elected with 97% bad stories. I won in a landslide because you have no credibility.
A landslide. Is that I'm sorry.
So biased, and that's why the media, their approval rating went down just today, 12%. You're at 12%. That's why I got elected with 97% bad stories. I won in a landslide because you have no credibility.
A landslide.
So I wish the media would write about it. It's probably the biggest story. Certainly it's got to be maybe the biggest story in medicine, if you think. I mean, where you get drug reduction prices of 60, 70, 80%. A pill that costs $10 in Germany costs in New York City costs $130, $140. Now the pill's going to go to $20 in Germany.
It's gonna go to
and $20 for us. So we're going to have the low.
It's gonna. How about this? Tell you what. They'll start writing stories when it actually fucking happens.
Lowest prices anywhere in the world, and we can't get a story about it
because it hasn't happened.
They won't write it
because it's not a thing.
Biggest medical story there is, and we cannot get a story about it.
Yeah, I know what can't get a story about it. Fucking hell. Look at the fade on the end of that sentence.
They won't write it. It's the biggest medical story there is, and we cannot get a story about it. I think I'm going to ask Walmart for a little help if they don't mind. Because you people seem to get very good.
Walmart?
You get very good publicity. I think if you could explain the trick and let me.
All right, he's probably referencing something else, but
biggest medical story there is, and we cannot get a story about it. I think I'm going to ask Walmart for a little help if they don't mind. Because you people seem to get very good. You get very good publicity.
You get very good publicity at Walmart.
I think if you could explain the trick and let me know.
Well, how about this? A blue light special at Walmart is actually a reduction in price. It actually happens. And if they don't do it, they'll get sued, or their rating will go down in the Better Business Bureau, or they'll. You can't. Walmart. Fuck me. All right. All right. I'll let you guys go. We would be here all afternoon going through this shit. He even complains later about the fact that saying 80 to 90% just doesn't sound as good. And it's about the phrasing or whatever. But he's like, I like 500 better. And then this is just gross. This sounds like, remember, have you guys heard about that thing about how Epstein was allegedly like trying to make a bunch of babies? Like he was having his own sort of fertility farm. That shit. This sounds an awful lot like
not
that.
Properly taken care of. Katie Britt knows that better than anybody.
That's right, sir.
Who called
She's over your right shoulder. She's been there the entire time. You've looked at her a couple of times.
me and said, I must say I shouldn't admit this, but the first time I really heard about the fertility was through Katie. She said, "Sir, we have to do something." And I'm a quick study, so I learned everything there is to learn in about 3-4 minutes. And,
That's right.
and I became
They think he's joking.
the father of fertility.
That is true.
No, it just made a lot of sense to me. She explained it well.
The father of fertility. Like, Jesus Christ, man. At least say Godfather or something like that takes the edge off. This is just nasty. So gross. And yeah, this is getting increasingly. All right. So I'll let you guys go. Again, we could just do this anyways, all day long. But it's bad. It's getting worse. Let's see. Let's see. So I'll leave you with this. This isn't even Trump. This is Hassett? Yeah. This is Hassett, the Economic Council head, the director of his Economic Council, asking, like, consumer sentiment is in the shitter. People are worried and afraid. Summer is coming up. They've got, my son, will be out of school in, the end of the month. And we've got a lot of stuff to do. We've got a funeral to go to, and we've got, family trips we want to go visit people, and he's going to want to do stuff during the summer, and all of that costs money, and everybody else is in the same fucking boat except Trump and his people, because they couldn't give a shit. They can lose $100 million in the market in an afternoon, and it doesn't affect them. This is true of Hassett. This is true of Hassett. This is true of Bessent. This is true of, like, everybody. Well, maybe a couple of people, like Stephen Miller doesn't have the portfolio, but they could still, they can all shrug it off, is my point. Here you go. This is why consumer sentiment is in the shitter, according to Hassett.
I think that one of the things that's happening is that the world is changing so fast right now.
It is. It's the change. People just have trouble with change.
That President Trump has sort of taken every problem on earth and got 100% at fixing it. And I think that's...
Or making it worse. Or maybe he's going 1,000% in the negative against it, less than, depending on how you phrase it. He's negative 100% fixing it.
Can be stressful for people to see so much change going on. But
that's what's really stressing people out. It's not cost of groceries and gas and just living. No, it's not that. It's just the world is so shockingly modern.
Bottom line is that in the end, when we look at what happens for elections, that people look at their wallets, they see how they're doing. The economy is growing very strong. Incomes are growing. And Ray Fair, you and I have talked about Ray Fair for 20 years. Ray Fair of Yale says that GDP in the second quarter is the thing that tells you what's going to happen in the election. And so I think that right now...
No, it doesn't, because GDP was at least tied to salary at one point. It's not now.
Republicans should feel very...
It's been breaking away from it since the mid-90s, but especially when it comes to, like, AI and data centers and investment in those areas, like temporary construction jobs ain't going to solve this problem.
Very good about the trajectory of the economy.
Okay.
I think that...
Good Lord. So, yeah, it isn't that the prices are too high, or it isn't that gas is too expensive. It isn't that people are, worried that, Israel is dragging us into war, or we're dragging Israel into war on behalf of the Saudis or anything. That's not what people are worried about. Come on. It's all this change. It's so hard to be a primitive human in a modern world. And again, they're not going to feel any of it. They are not. Trump and his crowd are not going to feel any of it until the elections. That's the only area where they'll feel it. Make sure you're registered to vote and get ready. And if anybody doesn't have their proper ID for voting, even if you think it'll be overturned or there won't be an issue, just make sure. Just go ahead and start helping everybody get all the ID stuff that they would need to vote properly, and make sure that base is covered, and it'll all be better. And if somebody's like, I can't afford to get my ID renewed or whatever, help them out. That'd be a good use, right? That'd be helpful. So yeah. Anyways, much love. Appreciate, by the way, the maggots that have come by in the last little bit. The vertical stream is really helping. Thank you guys for pushing us out into the algorithm. And I'm terribly sorry that you have to come over to like our chat room and whine. It must be a terrible part of your day. But look, we all understand you can't exactly go to pro-Trump shows and cheer this shit on. You can't go over and go, it's going great, because it obviously isn't. Your dude is shitting the bed while he shits his own pants. And don't worry, Trump will say all the right things at all the right times.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Like the genius that he is.
Tariffs!
Right.
Tariffs. Tariffs! Potatoes and chicken.
Right. But, the upside is that, maybe he'll solve all the problems and maybe you'll just have to
keep an eye out for the end times.
It's been Hal Sparks Mornings, mega worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. And of course, the Venmo is there and that kind of stuff. But either way, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for your eyeballs and your ear holes. It's the greatest gift you can give everybody. And I don't take that for granted. I greatly appreciate it. And maggots, good luck, man. Good luck turd polishing, whatever you do with the rest of your day. I guess it's good work if you can get it. I mean, there seems to be an industry of turd polishing, but we'll see. We'll just watch how this works out, I guess. But until later on, see you guys this afternoon. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the cheers, everybody. Thank you, Andrea, for helping today. And Can't Stop Lying, and Mark P, Mark C. Evening shows at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's right. This has been a special Hal Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide News Report. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.